I'm just going to do a quick video and just try to explain how I've broken down some of the knife hack saw and some of the blades into different categories. So saws being obvious, right? We'll do a separate video on the different types of saws and aspects of them, right? Same thing with the axes, different lengths, different sizes, down to smaller axes. And kind of their purpose and where they fit. So that kind of aside. The other one is and this is where I've kind of broken it down into different sizes and different aspects, definitely with the knife size. So, short of the folding knives and some of the small EDC knives, that type of thing I've kind of tried to break it down into areas of a belt knife. And we'll kind of do a separate video on that. So, and that's something that we're trying to define as maybe 6 inches and under, a weight and a size that we would carry with us on a day hike and just around camp, and something that's convenient to carry. So we make the choice to carry it, and that's kind of the belt knife scenario. And then we move into more of a working knife, and there's a couple of areas that there's some crossovers that might fit a little bit of both, right? If your choice. So this is more of a tracker style, fits close to a 7-inch blade, so it's capable of chopping. And when I look at a working knife, its capability to do some chopping chores and stuff like that is something I usually pull into that. Having said that, there's some that can cross over into that, and this might be an example of that. Another one obviously is this is an older style Busey, but it's a 6-inch Ash 1, but fairly heavy. It's a pretty heavy blade, so it can chop for sure. So these are knives that could fall into maybe a working knife scenario as well, or a belt knife as such. To kind of get closer into some of the working knives, and this can bring up, just as axes and different designs for knives, we can go into the rabbit hole pretty quick with it. So this is obviously a bigger knife, a little bit more weight, very capable of chopping, similar to a machete. And a working knife is something that I use a lot winter camping, and when I was trying to cover ground quicker, and especially years ago, more so on my own, I'd go a little bit lighter. So basically it would be a working knife that I took with me, and that was about it. So very capable, as some of the machetes we talked about in the past, kind of fall into that as well, this being a beaver tail. So that kind of category, and these are obviously a little bit more into some of the customs and the way that in different setups, etc. It, over the years, I spent probably more time with a working knife than I have with almost anything else. So I learned to become somewhat proficient with it, and it definitely, in the colder weather, in the winters, I found ways to make it very, very effective. So, this is more reasonable, and probably one of the better cost-effective. This is a Kershaw Camp 10 that I would put into more of a working knife category. So we'll do a separate video on that one. That one can go down the rabbit hole pretty quick, and I've probably got a little bit of a knife fetish when it comes to that stuff. So that's how we're trying to break it up, and I just wanted to kind of do an overview on what I'm going to try and do with the belt knife, more of a working knife. And there are some that cross over if that's your choice, and never a bad choice in colder weather. And as well as, like axes, there's a lot of different types out there, and a lot of different versions as well. And we'll get into the different types of saws. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of how I'm going to try and break this up here, and kind of the intended use of it, right? Obviously the belt knife is something that we want to have on us, and it's convenient to carry. maybe hunting, as well, right? It's something that we have with us all the time. So thank you for that.